What's good, y'all? Welcome in to Care for the Culture. You see the title, and we're gonna talk more about that once Callie gets here. In the meantime, between time, let me know how y'all feeling, how we doing today. Life is lifing over here. What about for y'all? Life is lifing for everybody, seems like. That's how it really seems. But when is it not? Am I right? As we wait for Callie to get on in here. Hey, here comes sis. This is what we're gonna get into. Let's welcome her in.
Hi.
There we go. Hello, hello.
Hello.
Good to see ya.
Yeah, you too.
Turning up my volume. All right. Well, let's start with introducing ourselves. Saying
Which
that
we
for
are really
myself.
not good at doing in the beginning.
I'm on it this time. So, hello to folks tuning in, watching. My name is Kayla. I am a Black queer femme doing her best, serving her community as a yoga psychotherapist and the founder, steward of The Well Healing, my community resource, providing holistic wellness resources. Glad to see ya.
Yes, yes, yes. And I am Katrina, aka Callie. I am a holistic healing arts therapist and also the founder of Manifesting Me Wellness, which is my resource for the community providing holistic mental wellness services. And this is Care for the Culture.
I know, I was so excited to put that as the title this time.
Yes, our first official Care for the Culture episode since we
Period.
decided on a name, since y'all helped us decide on a name
Right.
and helped us to move this into a different space.
Yep. So, welcome to the first episode of this iteration of the work that really we've been doing for a minute now. Even to the point I had a Snapchat memory or something that was talking about our very first, I think, time working together for Minority Mental Health Month, but like a couple of years ago. So for me,
Yeah,
this feels like it's all been rolling around for a minute now, but very excited
absolutely.
for this. Yeah.
Absolutely. Oh, that's exciting. It all did start with Minority Mental Health Month a few years ago and then again last year, and we're back again.
Period. Period. So, welcome in, y'all. Let us know how you're feeling today. Drop in the comments a word or two that shares how you're showing up today.
Yeah.
And for you, Callie, how are you feeling? How are you showing up today?
Today, this week, I'm feeling a little overwhelmed. Um, I am going on vacation in a couple weeks, and I'm just like feeling all the things that come up with going on vacation, and running a business and preparing both myself and my clients, and now also employees as I decide to like disappear for 2 weeks. So,
Right, right. You better say employees. Okay.
girl,
I feel you though. The prep for the relaxation can be overwhelming in and of itself. So
absolutely.
I hear
Yeah.
that. It will be well worth it when you are away.
After
Finally.
these 2 weeks, I will be in full relaxation mode, and hopefully, all of this stuff will be done, or I won't be caring about it, and I will be
Mhm.
moving through a much needed break that has been a long time coming.
Yes, yes, so well deserved. Congrats, congrats to
Thank you.
everything that is manifesting over yonder. So excited for you, so excited.
Thank you. Thank you.
Mhm.
How are you today?
How am I today? Because I can always keep it real here. Well, I'm gonna keep it real everywhere, but life is lifing, and I am trying to mindfully ride the waves as they
Mhm.
ebb and flow, is my truth. So, in this moment, I feel very glad to be kikiing with you and us talking about what we got going on and have planned, and what other black folks, black women are out here doing and feeling as well.
Right,
So,
right.
in gratitude for that.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, I appreciate that. I think life has been lifing a lot in the last year.
I
So,
really feel like, though, the way like the majority of folks seem to feel about their 2020 is how I feel about my 2021. Like my
me
wave like
too.
hit different after the fact. I don't know what's going on, but I'm like, I don't know which ancestor I pissed off to deserve all of this at one time. But
Yeah,
whatever offering you need, let me know, cause bro.
yeah. I feel the same way, and I was feeling bad about saying that because I felt like 2020 wasn't great, but like I was okay. I was
Yeah,
chilling. Like it had its moments, but 2021 came in like, nah, girl, this ain't it.
fact, fact.
Get it together. Just knocked me flat. Like,
Woo.
whew.
Yeah,
Hmm.
and we're not alone.
Right.
What do you think? Should we transition to Simone? Or
Absolutely.
all right. So,
Absolutely. We're here.
I was just kind of reviewing the interwebs to make sure I had a real sense of what's been going on. So my understanding is that Simone Biles, the GOAT, the greatest of all time gymnast out here, period, recently decided to withdraw from the
Mm,
finals, all around finals, for
yeah.
to focus on her mental health and mental well-being. And so, of course, there are all kinds of thoughts and feelings floating around. I'm curious
Yeah.
about, yeah, yours, or what else you've heard and want to add to that.
No, that's what I heard as well. Some of the, I guess, reports that I've seen is that she just dropped out of this one thing, but there's a
Yeah.
potential it could be others. Um, so I don't know. But my feelings about it, like I'm proud of
Mm.
her. That's like I really don't have much else to say around my own feelings. I don't think it is about my feelings. Like it's about hers. And if she's
Ooh,
not feeling up to it, then good for her.
yeah.
Say that and do what you got to do for you. And I feel just really proud, not just her, but of Black women showing up in the world and being authentic
Yeah.
and not pushing themselves beyond their limits and saying no when they don't want to, like when
Yes.
they don't have the capacity to, when they don't have the energy to, or whatever it is, just being able to very clearly say that this is not going to work for me.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, I see a comment that came in. I love that these athletes are reclaiming their peace, and I
Absolutely.
totally agree. It is such a reminder that you do not owe anybody anything,
Absolutely not.
regardless of the position that you're in,
Right.
regardless of the expectations or desire that other folks have for you. I
Hmm.
feel like it's such a powerful statement, especially to be a black person, a black woman on the USA Olympics team, and to
Right.
decide that I'm choosing myself over this nation that don't give a flying care about me
Right.
anyways, and to have folks upset because, like you said, it's not even about our feelings, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
So it really is for me like such a such a embodied like choosing of self, you know what I mean? And
Absolutely.
it really does feel like permission or like a reminder that we get to do the same in our lives, you know?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Some of the reflections I'm also seeing that people are having that I didn't think about initially, but that is, I think, important to acknowledge. There was a few people talking about how, as a gymnast, like how dangerous some of the things that she's doing are,
Mm,
and how if you're not in the right mental headspace to be
mm,
doing these things, you're literally just flying through the air, flipping, doing all of these things. You land wrong, that could be your life, that could be your
right.
physical abilities, like that could be so many things. And so it can be completely detrimental to her health. And like thinking about that and how that also puts her team at risk or puts
Mm,
her team at a detriment as well, how that could put the rest of her career, right? Like
yeah.
there's so many things that are at stake by her continuing. That's not just her mental health. That's not
Mm,
just her pushing through because somebody said so or somebody thinks that that's the best option. Like there are so many things that are at risk here. And I
yeah.
think that's important for us to also think about as people, that this is obviously a really big example because physically, like she's flying through the air, she falls wrong, that could be really hurtful.
Yeah,
But as
quite
people,
literally.
like, right, if we push through the stress and through all the stuff that we have to deal with, imagine what that does to our physical health as well. And
Mm,
how we don't even think about that. We're just pushing through and just moving, ignoring the mental health until it gets to the point where like it's causing physical harm.
yeah, yeah. Which is when a lot of us have then made the change, right? After the
Right.
crash or after the disaster or the inconvenience or whatever, right? It really is just such a important moment. Like I'm just in my feelings
Mhm.
about it. It just encompasses all of that. You know what I mean?
Right.
To be in the position that she's in, I can't even imagine, you know. And so in our own lives, even with all of the pressures or the demands or the voices or what we think will fall apart if we don't show up that day,
Right.
what it means to still honor and to accept that this is where I am at right now and that the rest of the world
Mhm.
will literally have to figure it out and fall in
Right.
line.
Right.
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 Like, yeah, you don't have to be the savior, the
Right.
superhero. Simone
Yeah.
is refusing to be USA's or USA Gymnastics superwoman. You know what I
Right.
mean? And that's so exciting to see almost. Yeah. That
Yeah.
reminder, that affirmation that we are human.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. How often we are denied of the ability to just be human in our experience as Black women as we move through this world. Like, and then to be an athlete on top of that, and an Olympic athlete on top of that, and all of the other layers of her experience and her identity. But like, yeah, it's an affirmation that we get to be human and we get to have off days and we get to say no because it's just not it today.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And that making the choice to care for yourself, ourself, is not necessarily going to be the easiest
Mm-hmm.
path,
Mm-hmm.
right? I
Right.
know that sometimes part of the discussion is an expectation that I'm doing the healthy thing, so it should feel good or it should be
Right.
easy or folks should affirm or be with me on this thing, and that is not always the case, and that
Right.
sometimes you will have to have folks feel their feelings or be disappointed in the sake of maintaining your well-being, uh,
Absolutely.
and that ultimately it's still for everyone's benefit, because like you said, if she had went out there and I don't know what could have happened, but who knows what the narrative would have been, right?
Right.
So ultimately, in a sense, she's taking it into her own hands of deciding for herself what she wants to do. So, anyways, I could blabber on about it. It's just very affirming to see.
Yeah. Yeah. I appreciate what you're acknowledging about the fact that sometimes it's not going to feel good or the reactions aren't going to be great. Which I'm sure there's a lot of that on the internet right now about her taking this break. And as people, we get that from people even close to us. When we decide to say no to someone, especially if you're not the person who typically says no, or when you need to take a day for yourself or take a day off, or you just don't have the capacity in this moment to show up for people in the way that they need you to show up for them in this moment, the amount of backlash that we get can sometimes be the one thing that really holds us back from being able to say, no, I'm going to take care of myself instead.
Yeah.
Because we know people are going to throw fits and they're going to have all of the arguments under the sun, or they're going to be harmful in certain ways towards us and say really mean and nasty things, or there's a potential of losing people too who really benefit from us continuing to show up for them
Yeah.
and not take care of ourselves.
Mm-hmm. Which says a lot about that relationship and the values
Absolutely.
that are in that relationship. It is interesting to see folks upset at Simone or upset at Naomi Osaka
Right.
when she as well took a step back. Um, the real visceral reaction that folks have
Right.
around
Right.
Black women, Black folks choosing, centering themselves.
Yeah.
Uh, the sense of like, how dare you?
Yeah.
Ooh, how dare you care about yourself?
Yourself. Right. The audacity.
The
Right.
audacity,
Yeah.
right? Um, and I think in some ways it is audacious because of all of the ways that we are reminded or told, made to feel that our bodies, our lives don't belong to us.
Absolutely.
Um, it can be a really audacious shake the table kind of decision.
Right.
Whether you're on national TV or just in your family living room, you know what I mean?
Right. Right. Because how often have we shown up culturally, individually, across the board in this country, in this world? How often have we shown up and continue to show up in a lot of ways when we're beat down, when we're tired, when we have all the other things that are weighing on our shoulders, all the other things that we push through. Like we are the ones that continue to show up. And so it is absolutely ridiculous to other people. They can't even fathom the idea that
Yeah.
we would, have the audacity to be tired or to just choose not to engage
You
anymore.
know, and which makes me think of the historical roots of that. It literally just made me
Absolutely.
think of the Mammy caricature,
Right.
which was, if you're familiar with Aunt Jemima, and usually dark skinned, heavy set, has a little red handkerchief on. That's the original sort of depiction of the Mammy figure, who
Right.
was a caretaker for white
Everybody.
babies and everybody. Yes, everybody, really.
Yeah.
And it was this expectation that she's always happy, always wanting, ready to protect or do whatever's necessary to keep the white family happy, right?
Yeah.
And that continues to trickle through today. Not even trickle, it's very much saturated.
There's that present. It's rushing through. Yes.
Fact, into today. And there's still an expectation for Black women, Black femmes in particular,
Right.
to self-sacrifice in the service of, particularly and especially, whatever the white imagination or desire is,
Right.
right? Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think it's really important to continue to acknowledge the historical context of it because it is so deeply rooted in who we've become as people in a lot of ways, and how we socialize one another at this point,
Right.
that I think we often forget that this wasn't our doing in the first place. We didn't
Yeah.
ask to be Superwoman. We didn't ask to be the strong Black woman. Like, that was something that was required of us in a lot of ways. That was
Right.
something that was beat into us, if we can go so far as to say that.
We can.
Um,
We can.
but like, that's not something we ever asked for. And it is now something that we continue to live with and perpetuate and socialize around and in our children and all of those things.
Yeah.
But the context around it is like, none of this was our doing in the first place. None of this was something that we wanted or really, I guess to a certain degree, we accepted. But like, what is acceptance when you are being harmed?
Right.
Right? In
Exactly.
order to like
Exactly.
survive, there was acceptance, but it was really just this thing that someone else created outside of our own doing. And
Yeah.
so, why do we want to continue to perpetuate something that's really not serving us? It never really served us outside of, to some degree, keeping us safe, because I'm not sure how safe it really kept us in a lot of moments.
Yeah. Exactly, though. I mean, it's heavy and it's important to know and acknowledge, though, like you said, because with that awareness, then you have a sense of why it feels like there is this pervasive
Right,
expectation to show up certain ways, right? And why, when we make conscious decisions to move counter to that, why it's so powerful. If
right.
you're ever in a workshop with me, you're probably going to hear me quote Audre Lorde. My
Mm-hmm.
favorite quote by her: caring for myself is not self-indulgence, it is self-preservation, and that is an act of political warfare. And that is
Absolutely.
why, because there is a politic behind Simone choosing herself. There is a politic behind me choosing myself, you choosing yourself, right? And that we don't exist in a system or structures that are supporting those
Right,
choices. You know
right.
what I mean? They have to be decisions that we make. Another thing that I talk about often is, you know, how there's the colloquial phrase like, oh, take care of yourself, take good care.
Mm-hmm.
But like, seriously, we have to take our care. We take
Right,
the paid time
right,
off, we take a break, we take a nap, because it's not going to be given. You know what I
right.
mean? And that's in the big ways of Simone getting whatever support that she would need to show up in fullness, and that's in the small ways of you deciding every day when you're getting ready to go for work, uh,
Right.
what does, or move through life, what does care look like for me today, here and now.
Mm-hmm.
um mhm.
Yeah, absolutely. It is a taking, because no one's gonna give it to us. And to be honest, if we continue to give it out, like, people are just gonna continue to receive it. And to some degree, it has to be on us, right? I think something beautiful about being a healer and a therapist, especially as a Black woman, is I get to say to other Black women, like, hey, chill out.
Mhm.
What's so wrong if you just like didn't do that thing,
Right.
right? What would
Right.
that look like? Let's
Yeah.
invite that into our options at this point, rather than just this narrative around, well, I got to do it, right? Well, what
Yeah.
happens if you just didn't? Or what would it look like if maybe you chose something different, right?
Right.
Because I don't think we even give ourselves that option sometimes. We don't even think about it. We think that it's not available to us. And I love just being able to say, hey, let's just not. Let's
Right.
explore what that would look like and see how that might go.
Literally, what's the worst that can happen? And
Right.
usually when we run through that, it's like, either A, it actually, the worst that could happen isn't that bad, or
Right.
it's probably not even good. Like, things will work themselves out, you know?
Right.
Uh, life moves on, you know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? And ultimately, the person who uh, is navigating and existing in this body, who is living in this experience, is you, is me
Yeah.
living my life, you know what I mean? So just such a powerful reminder that
Mm-hmm.
uh, our holistic well-being matters.
Absolutely.
Because again, even if I think about the relationship to the body, you know what I mean, of
Mhm.
um, just wanting that labor, you know what I mean, and it doesn't matter
Mhm.
about the emotional or spiritual experience that's happening
Right.
inside. So
Yeah.
yeah, of course
Yeah.
I'm nosy too. I would love to know like what's going on, or like what is Simone thinking, or even less about what's
Sure.
going on, more about like what was that actual process like,
Right.
you know, to recognize I'm not in my best self, and then to decide I need to step away from my best self to actually put
Right.
action behind that. Because how many times do we maybe know, ooh, I'm not in my bag right now, but you keep just kind of steamroll and muscle through it anyways, you know?
Yeah.
Um, just it also, I think I read as well, her talking about the people that she had around her, who of course
Mm-hmm.
encouraged, like, you know, you got this if you want it, and who also supported her when she was like, I don't want it, of being like, that's okay too, you know what I
Yeah.
mean, and we're gonna hold you down as you hold us down from the sidelines, you know, how
Yeah.
important it is to have relationships that again have values that include supporting our well-being. And
Yeah. Honoring your ability to make choices for yourself and
right.
your well-being, whatever that looks like.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's such a community oriented experience in a lot of ways, because if your community is not supportive, then yeah, it's going to be incredibly hard and maybe feel really impossible to continue to take that time for yourself. But when you have even just one person who's going to be able to say, no, it's good, like you're fine, that's okay. Let me know what you need. Thank you for letting me know. Let me know how much time you need, like whatever it is. But to have just one person be able to honor that for you, that is a beautiful thing. And so for her to have that amount of support where people are like, yeah, no, it's fine. Good. She deserves it.
Yeah. And I encourage folks watching this to take some time reflecting on the relationships in your life, and to really identify, for the sake of recognizing who your support system is, and to also feel the gratitude of the folks
Mm,
around you who really love you and want to pour into you in the ways that are authentic to you and your
sure.
journey, you know what I mean? And it also makes me think about also finding some time to really check in with yourself, to check
Yeah,
in with your physical body, like how is it feeling from head to toe, to check in with the content of your thoughts, the quality of the things
right.
that you're thinking lately. What is it sounding like in here, and how are you
Mhm.
feeling emotionally? What is the language for how you're feeling, you know?
Right,
uh, because from that, then you can determine what the needs are and what action you need to put behind that, right?
right. That
So
self-awareness is the starting point. If you don't know that you need the care, then you are not able to ask for the care or to communicate to someone else that there is a need there. So
yeah.
it starts by just checking in with self.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Absolutely. And we
Finding
don't do that
support to
here
hold you
yet.
down if that feels overwhelming. Sorry, what'd you say?
Yes, yes. And understand that sometimes the initial, like the first time you do it, the second time you do it, you might get more backlash. And that doesn't mean that people can't come around. Because I think part of
Mm.
it is also like, okay, everybody's going to be mad at me and I'm going to lose all of these people.
Mm-hmm.
Part of it is like we don't do well with change as human beings. That is natural. It feels really jarring and scary to us sometimes. And so
Yeah.
sometimes people are going to be like, what you mean? No, like, hold on, wait a minute. I wasn't ready for this. And that doesn't mean that they can't come around, but it's being able to stand in what your needs are and honoring that and acknowledging, like, it's not about you and it's no reflection of how I feel about you or about our relationship. It is about me taking care of me and making sure that I can continue to show up in this space, in this relationship, when I'm available to, but I cannot do that if don't take care of me first. And there are people who, first couple times might be like, wait a minute, can't do that.
What's going
And then
on?
we'll come around and be like, you know what? You're right. Take care
Yeah.
of you. Because you show up differently with me, you come to this space differently. You hold more space after you've taken care of yourself first. And so, like, just a little encouragement that it's sometimes harder before it's easier.
Yes. Yes. Thank you for saying that. Real ones will come around. They'll
Yes.
pivot with you. So give them a second to recover from the whiplash of you
Right.
showing up with boundaries now, or whatever you need, or asking for what you need, right?
Yes.
And that, like you said, change can happen. So thank you for mentioning that as well.
Yeah.
This was just such affirmation to make sure that I check in on what I need and to make moves on that. So
absolutely.
This was
Same
great.
here.
Mm-hmm.
Same here.
Mm-hmm.
It is a beautiful thing for us to be able to see on the big screen, right? To be able to see in the limelight, because like you said earlier, like it just gives permission or validation, and sometimes we need that.
Yeah, this kind of representation hits different. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Like, okay, you better ask for a mental health day. That's me.
Right. Yes. Yes. I love it. I am loving every moment of it. I love all of it. Like, continue to show up, continue to be yourself and know what your needs are and express those needs and stand firm in that. Like, I support all of that, especially from Black women.
Yes. So keep taking care of you, boo, regardless of what they gotta say.
Right.
Moral of the story.
Know that we support you if nobody else does.
Yep.
We support you.
Say Kayla and Callie told me so.
Yep.
Oh man.
Tell them your therapist said to do it. It's fine. You can blame me.
There we go. Oh man. Well, do you want to close up with maybe telling the folks about the new exciting and accessible ways that they can get into Care for the Culture?
Absolutely. So, Care for the Culture is going to be available on SoundCloud and Anchor, through Spotify, and we're hoping to get it out to other platforms as well. So, stay tuned. Kayla and I will drop the links in our Instagram bios shortly after this or later this week as they come up, as they are ready. And you can start to like go back and maybe do some listening of the past episodes and follow us and continue to listen as we move forward.
Yes. So tell a friend to tell a friend. If you have loved ones, especially who aren't on Instagram, now everyone has a way that they can listen to previous episodes and the good stuff that we have coming forward. And like she said, they'll be available in our bios. By the time you're watching this, they're probably in there. So go check it out.
Go check it out. Go check it out.
All right, y'all. All right. Well, any last thoughts, feelings from you, friend?
Y'all just take care of yourselves. People keep reminding me that my phrase is be gentle with yourself, and I think that this is very fitting. Obviously, I think it's fitting in a lot of environments. So be really gentle with yourselves as you continue to move. Honor all of your needs. You are important, and we love you.
Yes. Echoing all of that, sending all the love to you through the screen wherever you are. Choose you today, and we will see you next time. Bye.
All right. Bye.
Bye, folks.